everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. Little bit of a change of scenery here. I am standing at my shipping station because today I want to talk to you guys about how to ship heavy items as cheap as possible. So on my channel, I share with you guys a lot of the kind of merchandise that sells for me on my eBay store, and a lot of you notice that some of those items tend to be very heavy. And so a common question that I have been getting lately is, where's the profit? So if you're currently a reseller or if you're learning how to be a reseller, you might have noticed that the more an item weighs, the more it costs to ship it. Basically, anything that weighs over a pound can cost a lot of money to ship to the buyer. So a lot of you know that I do free shipping on the majority of all of my items. And so that leads to a lot of questions as to how exactly I'm able to ship these really heavy items to buyers and still make a profit. So today I'm going to share with you all of my tips for shipping heavy items as cheap as possible. But I do also want to include a few tips for shipping first class items as well, because first class is the cheapest shipping method that you are able to achieve. And so I wanted to give just a couple of really quick tips on that first, and then we'll move on to the heavier items. So now when you're doing first class shipping, there are 4 different tiers of weight when it comes to shipping your item. And the reason why knowing these 4 tiers is important is because if you are newer to shipping on eBay, it might be a little stressful to try to make sure that you know the exact weight to the ounce to avoid being charged over or under, whether your buyer pays it or you as the seller. Because if you know what these tiers are, you might just go ahead and round up to the next tier rather than having to worry about whatever ounce your item may or may not be in the packaging. So the 4 tiers for first class are 4 ounces, which is everything up to 4 ounces in weight, and then everything up to 8 ounces in weight, then everything up to 12 ounces in weight, and then up to 15.9 or 16 ounces, which is 1 pound. 4, 8, 12, 16. So for example, if your item weighs 10.2 ounces, you might as well just round it up to 12 ounces to be safe, because 12 is the next tier for first class. And the reason why this is important also is because sometimes if you want to put your very small first class item in a box can actually knock you into the next tier, and you end up paying a little bit more for your shipping label when you could have saved some by not using a box. So this right here is a Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll. I have actually done an entire video all about the pros of using the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll. I'll go ahead and link that video up here if you missed it, but Scotch has been a sponsor of my YouTube channel for a while now, and this is by far the best product I think that they could have ever come up with. Let me tell you why I'm bringing it up right now. Because I have been able to save a lot of money in shipping labels, shipping items in the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll, as opposed to putting items in boxes that would have thrown me into the next tier. For instance, if I have a small item like this Play-Doh that was just sitting over here because Benjamin plays with Play-Doh while I do shipping sometimes. If you sell this Play-Doh and let's say it weighs 6 ounces, you can ship it at the 8 ounce rate. But the best way to ship this Play-Doh is probably in a small box to make sure that the plastic doesn't get crushed. However, if you are to ship this in a box, suddenly it now weighs 9 ounces, which means it pushes you into the next first class tier, costing you more money. But if you ship it in something like the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll, which has multi-layers of protection, it keeps it safe just like a box does, you can still ship it for the 8 ounce rate, because the roll doesn't weigh as much as the box, so therefore you save a little bit of money on shipping there. And if you've never heard of the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll, it is amazing. I always promote it, hence why Scotch happens to be a sponsor of my YouTube channel. The Amazon link to the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll is always in my video description because I use it so regularly. This is probably the 12th roll that I've gone through in the last few months because I love using the product so much, because it really does save me from having to get kicked up into the higher first class shipping tiers a lot of the times with that exact same example, because I do ship a lot of items that are first class. And if I can keep from putting it in a box by using this, if it keeps me in the lower tier, I definitely do that. Okay, so that was my first tip, saving money when shipping. Now let's get to the heavy stuff, because I know that's what y'all came here for. Learning how to ship all the heavy stuff as cheap as possible. Let's get to it. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is by far the simplest way to keep shipping heavy items cheap, and that is using priority flat rate envelopes. So there's actually 3 different kinds, and they all range in price depending on which you pick. The cheapest one is the regular flat rate envelope. It's just a paper cardboard envelope. This one is the least. This one is $6.94 currently on the day that I'm filming this. Prices always go up, so if you happen to catch this video way in the future, hello! Prices might have gone up, but right now, as a top-rated eBay seller, you do get a little bit more of a discount. So this envelope is currently $6.94 if you print it from the eBay site. The next one up is the exact same kind of envelope, except it is the legal size. So let me see. You can see this is the regular one that's $6.94. This one is the legal one that costs $7.04. So it's about 10 cents more to get it a little bit bigger. Then the third flat rate envelope is a padded flat rate envelope. It has kind of bubble wrap embedded in there. This one costs, I believe, I don't use this one very often. I think it's $7.33 to ship in the padded flat rate envelope. It could be like $7.50 something, not sure. I honestly don't use this one that much. That's why I end up saving so much money on shipping, because the cheapest one is the one that I choose to use. Because like I said, this is how to ship heavy items as cheap as possible. Therefore, I use the cheapest flat rate envelope, which is the regular cardboard flat rate envelope. I know you're thinking 2 things. You're thinking 2 things right now. And I know you're thinking 2 things because it's a questions that I get all the time. Everybody always wants clarification of this. So this is a envelope. It looks like you're only allowed to ship documents in here, right? Like it has to be flat, hence the name flat rate envelope. Nope, that's not how it works. So you are welcome to put anything that fits in this envelope. It will ship for the flat rate envelope price. If it fits, it ships. That used to be the commercial that the United States Postal Service used. If it fits, it ships. They use that with the flat rate boxes and all of that. Flat in the flat rate envelope stands for the rate, not the actual product being flat. So if you can fit it in here and close it, you can ship it. But now, it's my little trick. It's my little trick. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you've probably heard me share this tip before, and it's this little baby right here. It is the 1096L priority box. So this little beauty fits perfectly in one of these flat rate envelopes. And now I know what you're gonna say now. Is that allowed? That's a question I get very, very frequently. Are you allowed to use this box inside of this envelope? Yes, you are. What you are not allowed to do, however, is to use priority labeled merchandise and cover it and ship using another service. Like if you were to take this box and put it inside of a poly bag and ship this first class, and inside is a priority box, and you're simply covering the fact that it's priority to pay for a cheaper shipping rate, or if you are covering it up and you are using it to ship UPS or FedEx, that is absolutely not allowed. That is violation of using the free priority shipping products. However, I have had it confirmed numerous times by numerous employees as well as the postmaster that I see on a regular basis that it is perfectly acceptable to use priority shipping supplies in any fashion as long as you are paying for priority shipping. So if I am paying for priority shipping, I am allowed to use priority shipping supplies in order to package and secure the product. So now let me show you exactly how this works. Oh, and I forgot to mention, all priority supplies are free. That's right, they're all free. All these priority shipping supplies that I use for my business, they're all 100% for free. You can get a lot of them at your local post office, or you can order them online in bulk at USPS.com. There is 0 delivery charges. I always, every single month, place orders to receive my favorite priority shipping supplies in bulk on my doorstep. All right, so let me show you exactly how this works. So let's say you have 2 bottles of something. So one of these weighs a pound by itself. So both of these together weighs about 2 pounds, about 2.5 pounds with packaging. So in order to ship these the cheapest way possible, I am going to be shipping them in a regular flat rate envelope and a 1096L box. So let me show you what that looks like. So now something that you want to make sure you do is always put your shipping label on first. Sometimes the boxes can get a little lumpy, and so putting the shipping label on after all of the merchandise is in the envelope can be difficult. So put your label on first. And then the next thing I always do is I just want to secure the seams. This isn't because it's guaranteed to burst open, but I would rather be safe than sorry. So I just put some tape on the seams just to make sure. And the reason for that is because this is going to be distended a little bit, and I don't want the adhesive to change with the climate. Like if it's hot or cold, the glue might give and you don't want it to rip. So I just like to secure all of the edges with tape just in case. And now I'm not gonna do it now because I'm not actually shipping these items, but I do have these bread bags that I always use. I always talk about them. You can actually just buy these at Walmart. They are the Great Value twist tie bags. You can buy these for around $3 a box for 100. So what I will do is anything that can possibly leak, I always put in a clear bag just to make sure that it doesn't leak during transit. So let's pretend like I did that, but I'm not actually shipping these items. And then the next thing I do is I take some packing paper, because you want to fill up all of the dead space that is going to be in the box so that the items don't shift around. So then I will wrap the items in packing paper. I do like to put tape across the box so that it doesn't open up. Just like this, just to keep it, because when you get them, they are all flat, so you have to fold them to get them together. So I just tape it down so that it doesn't come unfolded. And then I just take the bottles that I just recently wrapped up in the packing paper, and I'm just going to slide them right into this 1096L box. You could see there's enough room in there. I could even fit a 3rd bottle if I wanted to. Like that, close it, and they're in there, just like that. Now, I will push the limits of the boxes sometimes, so sometimes the boxes might become distended a little bit because I might put something a little wider in there, and so I'll definitely use the tape to keep it sealed because the boxes might bubble a little bit if I don't put something that's as narrow in there. But then you just take the box, you take your envelope, see that? You slide it right on in. The box is in there. Everybody see? Then you just peel this off. Try to do this so you guys can see it. And just fold it up. Just like that. Just like that. And then of course I would tape across this just to make sure it stays, but see, that box fits very beautifully right there in a flat rate envelope, and it ships for $6.94. If I ever ship things like lotions, shampoos, conditioners, anything that's heavy, that's 1 or more of them, I always ship them this way. I hardly ever use a padded flat rate envelope. And then of course, if something is a little too big or if it's a little too lumpy and it doesn't fit nicely inside of a regular flat rate envelope, in those cases, I will use the padded flat rate envelope. However, The 96L box does still fit in here, but it is a little bit more snug because of the bubbles. I've tried putting the 1096L box into these and the bubbles like keep catching, it gets annoying. So anyway, usually if I ever use this, I will use pieces of scrap cardboard to fashion a box around it. So for instance, this is a really big bottle of Swim Splash clarifying shampoo. So this is a little bit too long to fit in the 1096L box, so I wouldn't be comfortable shipping it in a regular flat rate envelope, but it is still good for the padded. So what I would do in this case is I would again wrap this up in a clear bag to prevent it from leaking. I would tape this down, take some tape, keep it from having the spout pop up and leak. And then I would take cardboard and I would literally wrap cardboard around it and tape it so that the bottle itself doesn't get crushed. That way that cardboard keeps it from getting smushed too badly. And then I would wrap it in paper or more bubble wrap and I would enclose it in a padded flat rate envelope. Now, let's say it doesn't fit. Let's say it's a little too big, or you have someone combining orders and it no longer fits in even a padded flat rate envelope. Then what is the next option? From there, you have two more options if you're wanting to stick with United States Postal Service. Now, if something weighs over 4 pounds, in my experience, it is a lot cheaper to use FedEx. However, I personally don't like using FedEx very often because it's a lot more inconvenient for me to have to go to the FedEx drop off. I do have my postman pick up packages on my porch. It is the most convenient way to run the business outside of my house. He just picks everything up. However, if I ship FedEx, I have to end up physically going somewhere to drop it off, and that takes time out of my day, which I don't have a lot of time to get work done. So having to take a 30-minute round trip just to go drop off a package, it's really inconvenient and it takes time out of my day. So I don't use FedEx that much, but if you have a package that's over 4 pounds, then FedEx is probably going to be your best bet. And I've never seen UPS rates really beat FedEx. So FedEx for that, but we're just talking about United States Postal Service right now. So if it doesn't fit in a regular flat rate envelope or a padded flat rate envelope, you have two more choices to keep the shipping as cheap as possible. The first one, the one that I use the most frequently, is regional A boxes. So regional A boxes come in two different sizes. They come in a long and narrow side load version, and then they also come in a short top loaded version. So they both ship for the same, so it doesn't matter if you pick the side or the top loader, they will both ship as a regional A. Now, I don't want to get too into detail about how regional A boxes work. I do have a video explaining all of it from start to finish, and I'll link that video up here if you want to go learn more about how the regional A boxes work. There are regional B boxes as well. However, I don't even order those because I've never personally used it. If you get into the regional B territory, you might as well use FedEx. The regional B boxes are just so expensive. You might as well use a flat rate box, a medium flat rate box, a large flat rate box. You might as well ship FedEx. It just doesn't make any sense to use a regional box, a regional B box in my opinion. So I only ever use regional A. That's why I talk about it so much. So the video for the regional boxes and how to use them is right here. But the next step will be the regional A boxes. They are a little bit, they hold a little bit more than the regular flat rate envelope and the padded flat rate envelope, and they have the sturdiness of a box. I shouldn't say that they only hold a little bit more. They actually hold a lot of stuff. I am able to, mostly for the buyers that I have that buy multiple things, I almost always end up using a regional A box if they're combining orders because everything fits much better in these. And then the second option that you have is using pirateship.com. So pirateship.com is completely free, and you can link up your eBay store through the system so that you can easily export all of your solds into shipping labels. So now what Pirate Ship does is instead of doing your shipping rate by weight, they do it by cubic space, which means you can have a really heavy item, but if it is small, it will actually cost you less even if it weighs more. So Pirate Ship is perfect if you're shipping something that's really super heavy, but it's smaller than 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. If it's bigger than 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches, chances are it's gonna be better to just use FedEx. But if it's smaller than that and it still weighs a lot, chances are Pirate Ship can save you quite a bit of money. So I actually have a real life example for you guys. I ended up selling something and I know I'm gonna be able to save money using Pirate Ship to ship it instead of paying for a shipping label through eBay. So I'm going to take you over to my computer and show you exactly what that looks like and show you how much money I can save using Pirate Ship to ship that heavy item. Let's go on over to my computer so I can show you. Okay, so here is an example of how Pirate Ship is going to end up saving you money on certain instances. So this item in particular, it weighs 4 pounds. It's a giant pool floaty that I sold. So let's take a look at how much it costs to ship this item using eBay's discount versus how much cheaper we can make it when you take Pirate Ship cubic shipping into consideration. So this item is a 4 pound package. So already you could see with FedEx, it's going to cost $22.05 for FedEx. And if we go over to the United States Postal Service, it's a little bit cheaper, but it's still $17.60 for a 4 pound package. Let's go ahead and put the dimensions in here. It's 14 by 14 by 3. Let's update it, see if it changes. Okay, so with the size package of this pool floaty, it is $17.60 if we are to print the shipping label through eBay, which I will say this, that is still cheaper than you would have if you are going into the post office. And this also does have to do with how far away the buyer is from me. If the buyer was closer to me, this would likely be cheaper, but we're just looking at this one instance so I can show you how Pirate Ship can save with the cubic priority shipping versus the regular priority shipping that you would get on eBay. So this 4 pound package would ship for $17.60. Now we're gonna go take a look at Pirate Ship. Okay, so here we are now in Pirate Ship. I have skipped, a couple of the steps because I am importing information through eBay and I don't want you to see all of the buyer's information and all of my information and everything, but this is where we would go in and start the process of selecting the shipping information for this same particular order. Again, up here, it's the same pool float. So if we say that it's a box, I put in the same dimensions, the same weight here, and then we're going to scroll down and we're going to see what it is going to calculate our cubic shipping rate to be. All right, so priority cubic is $16.02. So you can see it's not a huge savings, but it is cheaper. Regular priority was $17.60. Pirate Ship is actually $16.02. So that saves us $1.58 in shipping. But let me show you what is actually going to make it even cheaper than this. So if we go back and click on this little drop down, instead of selecting a box, we are going to select an envelope, which is box in a bag. This is actually a little bit of a trick that you can use to save even more money on the Pirate Ship platform. If you are able to fit the item inside the box into a poly bag, it can actually save you even more. So I can actually fit this pool floaty that's already in its own box. I can fit it into a poly bag, and let me show you how that is going to save even more. So when I put it in a bag, it's actually 15 inches by 15 inches, and it still weighs the 4 pounds. So now let's see what rate we get. So now you can see just by putting it into a poly bag that's 15 inches by 15 inches, my rate goes down to $12.29. And now I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to ask, how do you find a poly bag that's 15 inches by 15 inches? Well, I actually have a poly bag that's 15 inches by 19 inches that I am going to cut down to 15 inches by 15 inches. And when you do that, when you cut the poly bag smaller, you actually get a cheaper rate, because the smaller the package is, that's how cubic priority works. The smaller the package is, it doesn't necessarily matter how much it weighs. It's all about the size of the package. And so suddenly, by putting that pool floaty into a smaller poly bag, the rate is cheaper. So now, before, my rate for a 4-pound package on eBay was $17.60. But because I am able to put that small pool floaty box into a large poly bag, just the act of putting it into a bag made it $12.29. And so that is a savings of over $5 shipping that same 4-pound pool floaty. And then the last little tip that is kind of a tip, kind of not, that I can give you is to buy your shipping labels online. I have a very strong feeling that a lot of the people that are inquiring as to how I'm able to ship so cheaply, I think that a lot of those people are actually going into the post office and paying for shipping labels. And of course, you don't know this unless somebody tells you, but if you go to the post office and pay for shipping labels, you are 100% paying more. Because when you walk into the post office, you are paying the retail price. There is 0 discount. One of the perks to buying your shipping label through the eBay site is getting a little bit more of a discount. So when you use the flat rate envelopes or the regional A boxes, or you use a site like Pirate Ship in combination with the other little discounts that you can get by simply printing your shipping labels online and utilizing the free priority shipping supplies that we are given by the United States Postal Service, that is what allows you to ship these items cheap enough so that you're still able to make a profit on heavy items. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like it, please give it a thumbs up. That way I know it. Don't forget to check the video description. I will put a whole bunch of useful information in there, as well as the link for that Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll. Since Scotch is a sponsor of my YouTube channel, it is an affiliate link, and I appreciate every single one of you that use that affiliate link to make your purchase. Please do remember to leave any questions or comments down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. All right, you guys, until next time, I'll see you with my next video. Bye-bye.